We're live here.
Welcome back to another special edition of the early morning with your co-host, Coach Frenchy, directly for the Sunshine State in Florida. We have to go all the way to find the co-host, Michael Devellano.
Good morning, Pierre.
Great morning.
There's actually a few things happening yesterday, so that was pretty interesting.
It was a busy day, honestly. For the last couple of days, it's very quiet around, but it's funny they signed two guys back to back, and I'll be honest with you, in 75 minutes, and then the third one a little bit later during the day. But that's what we are that time of the year, right? Everybody come back now. You can see the players practice or player all everywhere around. Was a little golf tournament by the Montreal Canadiens yesterday. A lot of smile on the golf in Joliet. Was nice to see Jonathan Drouin. Oof, he gained some weight. Mr. Drouin looked like Phil Kessel.
No way.
Like you can see a little bit like you know what I mean. But smiling. Now I have a Barb, everything like that. So it's good for him to see him in that way, everything like that, and to be a part of this and back in the team, everything like that. Good for him. You know what I mean? We don't know exactly where he's been through this, but at the end of the day, we want to be sure everybody is healthy, and that's the most important thing. So be interesting. Hopefully, we show up at the camp and shape, everything like that. But
camp's like a few weeks away, Pierre. I don't know about that. That seems.
Oh no, it's like only in the end of September. So
yeah, it's not that long. So we saw on the weekend, for example. I have to go check this out, but Los Angeles has got their rookies on for the Ontario Reign, so it's pretty star-studded what's going on over there. Like
you have a few teams start their camp, right? Nashville did it every time. They will wait more in the September. Most of the team does their camp, rookie camp, the second week of September, and then they play after that the showcase and spend team together. And then after that, they're going to leave, and some stay around, and then you have the camp for everybody come back around the September 22nd, and the regular camp for the NHL. And then after that, you get, the exhibition game. And then, the camp now is not like it was before, right? 2 weeks. Everything like that now is like a couple of days. And then you play exhibition game with Team A, Team B, and they go black and white, black and red, whatever they are. And then they move up for a team around, everything like that. So that's what quick, and then they stop the season October 12th. So 46 days before they start.
Yeah, I mean, I think the LA one's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. Like, you forget how much talent LA has. I know we reviewed it before. You know who I forgot they have, Pierre, is Chromiak. And I don't know if you know this player. He was in Kingston Frontenacs in the OHL. And we saw him at the World Junior Championship. I think he's Slovakian. And I forgot they also have him on top of all the other guys they have. And he was Shane Wright's winger. Him and Zayd Wisdom. And I was like, oh my God, they have him on top of all the other guys.
Yeah.
Like LA is stacked. So good morning to Raven. Good morning. Chainsaw Man has joined us. So he's in the house as well.
Oh, SCR directly from South America. Welcome, buddy. Hopefully you're doing well over there. Bueno Diaz and Felix Diaz.
So we saw a couple contracts yesterday. I know you like this one. Dillon Dube, who people might think is like French Canadian, but he is from British Columbia. Yep. But I think he's played very well for Calgary. And you forget.
At the end of the day, he play a specific role. Like he's not going to be a 30-goal scorer every time that. And you need in any team, Michael, you need that kind of players. Everything like that. He's underrated because he played behind Matt Penny, and that's what Matt Penny does over there. With like the kind of guy going to the corner and push everybody. Great for back check, and play both ways on both zones. Pretty good. But again, that's what I said. You need that kind of players in your team. So a bottom six, I think he bring a lot for the team, and that's why I said he played his role in that Calgary Flame. I'm sure they like this. It's a good contract for both ways. I think so. He's only 23, so it's a bridge contract right now, Michael, before he become a UFA. And then I think at the end of the day, I think he's good for both.
And I think this is a player that you hit it on. He's 23, but his offensive production will just keep going up. he was a big time scorer in the WHL. We saw him play for Team Canada. He was a big time scorer. So this is a player that he came in to Calgary and they're like, whoa, he made a third line out of nothing. He made Milan Lucic like have a rebirth because he has energy, but he's got talent. So this might end up being very, very cheap for Calgary in a couple of years.
Well, that's the point behind it. I think there's a guy that can score 15 goals per game, right?
So he might be more.
But I don't see this regular. But my point to you is like for third line is a great hockey player, and at 2.3, where usually the third line Michael make $3 million, and I think for 3 years, I think it's really a good signature for the Calgary Flames, where the money anymore every dollar count. So I think that's a great contract for both.
Smart.
Really, and then he's going to become UFA. So that's the reason they get a little bit cheaper. He will be free after that, and it's called a bridge contract. About that so it'll be really good. Kaden Jenkins is back in the house today, and also Tap, we missed you last night, buddy. And then Michael Rosenblatt from Parkland, directly from Douglas High School, between I don't know somewhere. And then I've extended Poland for 2 years. It's happening about 10 minutes ago. About that one over there. I can give you a little bit more information about that in a few minutes. But I think overall, Michael, is a good contract for them.
It's interesting. The other thing that I didn't notice was Minnesota signed their first pick, Carson Lambos. Actually, he was a second pick, wasn't he?
No, he was the third pick, I think. So, or whatever it is, he was a
25th overall.
25th, 26th overall pick. About that one over there. And
he dropped a little bit for me, Pierre, because I think he was a top 15, 16 player. Like, he's a very good defenseman.
Yeah, you got through. He's a guy where you need to get learning a little bit more the physicality on that. But I think for that moment, when you talk about him, I'm thinking always the Carson, Solomons, those kind of. Both of them are the same way, right? So I think that's a good to get them. He signed contract like 2 days ago. That's what happened. But look, I don't know how he's going to make it yet, but I think he's a good signature. We're just going to confirm now. The Montreal Canadiens general manager Mike Bergevin announced on Friday that the team agreed to a 2-year contract with Michael with an extension of the forward Rand Poland until the end of the 22-23. He's going to get $750,000. That's the minimum he can get in NHL. At $225,000, he will play in AHL. That's pretty good as the money. He's 22 years old. He have 25 point Michael and 28 game last season. 6'2", 195, 197, and a second career of 11 goals, assists 14 in Americans during his second professional campaign. So I think it's a good signature. So I think he was a 25 overall pick, Michael, in 2017. But I think right now, no pressure at some point. What do you mean by no pressure? Now he's been this. I feel like he need to learn what he have to learn. Now he learned now. Now he go to the camp, and I think he had that confidence. He picked up last season, Michael. Honestly, if you watch the Laval Rocket, I watched about 10, 12 games on the 28. He was maybe the one who really dominate more for the Laval Rocket to be one we said, close to the NHL. Everything like that. It was one step of many players in NHL by his, the intensity, also the passion he got from Joel Bouchard, but also his physicality where, he's a big guy in the way of 6.
I was going to say, he's a big body centerman.
Yeah.
And he's getting old fast though, Pierre. Like he's not a young kid. He needs to make the NHL pretty soon. But I think he's capable. He can play somewhere, whether it's Montreal or somewhere else. Like he's a capable, maybe third line type center cap, but he could be a useful player. I like him for that role. People get excited because he had that 4-goal game, and that was an aberration. That's not Ryan Pelling, but he's a good two-way player.
Well, I think for me, it's like, he came from NCAA. He started his career at a young age for a kid at 18 years old. He followed his brother over there, right? So for me, I think he went to the right school. When you talk about this, so his journey, Michael, is right. and professional hockey, did very well. So he was not ready for NHL. He come back. He need to have more maturity on that. He's
for
right
sure.
now at the age right now, like he said. Now you go to missing, I think, 2 years before really he explodes more. We become really a consistency player in NHL. I think you have all the talent to make it. Is this year, maybe play 40 game, Michael, like get back and forth with
that makes
Cedric
sense to me.
Paquette. But then after that, I think that year number 2
be a
right
regular.
there, or 23, that's really where he should be in NHL. So patience is the key with him. And again, those kind of player, Michael, where their skate is not their best.
He's got heavy feet, right?
Best skill, right? So you need a little bit longer time to make the NHL.
Yeah, he's not like a real dynamic player, but he'll be a useful player. I think he's going to be good. Yarmo has joined us this morning.
Yarmo back in the house this morning.
We also have Stefan Manberg.
We have the boat from Scandinavia. Or by the way, we have a big news yesterday, Michael. Sly Abs guy won yesterday the quiz, the Frenchy quiz, for the first time with Reggie and someone else. Jesus, don't forget, remember. And the slide never win, right? But the funny thing, last night he went only with one good answer. So it was a hard quiz, but it was funny. He went by only one good answer. So it was a good one last night. It was a good time with him, of course.
Raven says he always misses quiz.
Yes, Raven, you missed this one over there. So good to see everybody and a part of the show this morning. And don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. That would be awesome. Thanks, Stefan. Stefan is a machine, guys. Stefan stayed with us last night all the time until 4 o'clock morning, and then he come back the morning here. And just the guy is unbelievable, Stefan. And boy, hopefully you're doing well, better, Yamo, and you feel better for sure.
Just final note on Pelling. What I thought was weird about this is he actually got a big pay reduction because his prior contract was 1.5. So I think they probably overestimated where he was at and thought, hey, this guy's going to be a big time player for us. I think that 750 makes sense, but it's about half of what his other contract is. Because if you factor in the bonuses, he was at 1.49 before.
But he got the entry-level contract. Is always on 925 for the first round pick. 99.9 get that. So he just got the regular one. The second one right now is like the reason he got 750, Michael, because they don't have money.
Yeah.
So what he did, no, but that's the first
it's
thing.
Guaranteed.
Right? So
it's not an
good
AHL
about
salary.
that one there, and he did not give him 3 years, but only 2 years. But what I would tell you, they increase his money on the American Hockey League.
That's why. That makes sense.
More money there. Like usually, you should get 100,000 at that young age. The 220, Michael, 225. Usually, it should be 28, 29 years old, playing in NHL. Now he become a role model for the young guys in the American Hockey League. That's what I believe that happening with him.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's a one-way. It's kind of like a one-way contract this time. The big contract, and we just talked about this guy yesterday, was Sean Couturier. What was your thoughts on the value? It's $62 million. I thought it was 64, but it's $62 million over 8 years.
Great contract for both ways. Look, he's not young anymore. He's 28. Right, he's now going to be 36 at the end of the year. At the end of this contract, for the Philadelphia, get now a solid center number 1, right? And he won the Selke 2 years ago. Is maybe one of the top 5 best player, Michael, on the 2 ways. Not said in the NHL as an offensive, but he's a guy carry on a lot of puck, the load for the team over there now. And he did not get paid, Michael, as a center number 1. I really believe he get paid as a center number 2. It's like Montreal or other team in NHL. They don't have that kind of McDavid or Crosby or the McKinnon, right?
Don't.
So I think that's the reason he got a good money there. It's almost $8 million at the end of the day. And I think for me is a great no, you're going to suffer, but like anybody got an 8-year contract at 28, 29, Michael, the last 2-3 years of the contract going to suffer.
That's the problem.
I think at 7.75, great contract for the Flyers at that. And then also for him, he got $62 million. He's done for the rest. And the player, Michael, grow as a hockey player year after year. So and I want to, I know Enertap is here. Maybe I have a couple of fans for the Montreal. this is an example where Kokanemi, you need to be patient. Go back, Michael, with Couturier all the way over there. I'm not saying the type of player, but look, the number, the goal he got. 13, 13, 15, 11, 14, and boom, he got now a 31, 33, and then 22 and 16 is about 25, and 18 is about 25. My point to you, that's where you need to be patient with the young players. You need to give them a 23, 24, 22, 23, 24 before they reach that kind of quality hockey player they become. And sometimes people, the fans, and also the organizations, and they trade the player too quick, too fast. And I think that's what is a great example, Michael, about that quality of player he become.
Yeah, I think the thing with him was he came in and he surprised everybody. He was, the big thing of him was similar to Kotkaniemi was skating. They were like, hey, he's not a great skater, right? But he made the NHL right away. He was highly rated coming out of junior. We actually thought he would go a lot higher than this, but
he got an 8 overall pick.
Yeah, which was not bad. I think that was a good spot for him.
Yeah.
But what he made the NHL on was actually his defensive play on the third line. So he was not a first-line player, to your point, and he was playing behind some pretty good players when he first came in. But he carved out that role, right?
When Giroux, Michael. So.
Yeah, like he had Giroux was playing very well. He had Briere in front of him, and he really carved out that role. He even had Max Talbot ahead of him, but I think Talbot might have played more wing than center then.
Yeah.
So I think he bought himself time because he was such a big two-way player. And I think the only thing I worry about, I think the dollar for a 25 to 30 goal scorer is right? Like I think just under $8 million is not horrible. I worry for Philadelphia that this is your number one centerman, though.
Well, that's my point I bring to you, right? It's really a bit low as a center number one, right?
I think he's a much better – if he's your number two –
but he got also the money, Michael, because he's a two-way center.
He is.
So he's a little bit the number of the goal he makes, Michael. If you check his stat, go get Bergeron. And
I was going to say, this is Bergeron's numbers, right? It's the same.
Exactly the number. Now, Bergeron is better with experience, been in the league for 7 more years, and on the defensive side, he's a little bit better right now. But that's the compare. You can check both players, Bergeron and
it's very similar.
And him, you're going to see that where the number 76 going to reflect a little bit what Bergeron is.
I agree.
Is about that one there. So 7.75, I think is good about that one there. That will give them a chance to maybe pick up a Barkov at $9-10 million, that kind of plus, if ever he get there over there. Look, Bergeron.
It's almost identical, right? Like his numbers are very, very similar.
Yep.
Same type of role. So I don't mind that. He does have, he's a big player, and I think it's a good contract for them. But from Philadelphia, I'm worried.
I want to insert to Gators about that, because I think sometimes you need to. I'm not trying to be. I'm sorry again.
Sorry, I think people are saying that he's not a big defensive player. This guy won a Selke Trophy, Pierre.
Yeah.
He was the defensive player of the.
So the point I want to mention to you, Gator, is this part over there. At 28 years old, one of your top players is become a UFA at some point, all right? Yeah. And he is a top 2-3 players. It's like right now, are you going to give to Huberdeau? It is a great example. Are you going to give Huberdeau a $7 million for 4 years?
No, I don't think. I think you lock this guy up. It's a reasonable contract. The salary cap's only going to go up.
No, my point, Michael, is this. When you get 28 and you become the best, one of the top best player, right? You cannot give him a 4 years contract.
No, I agree. I'm saying the same.
He's going to go somewhere else. He's going to get money somewhere else. So you pay always those kind of players, Michael, the money you give to them. And we know everybody, Weber and Ozzy and Sutter and Parise, the last 3 years of the contract are almost dead because they cannot perform the level they get paid at 28, 29, and 30. So for me, when you get that 28, it's the same thing.
Yep.
Huberdeau is going to get paid, I believe, at close to $9 million.
Yep.
He's going to get an 8-year contract. But Huberdeau at 34, 35, 36, 37, He's not going to perform like he's going to perform the next 2-3 years. That's the reason. At $6.2 million as a center number one, Michael, you cannot find nowhere a center number one. Owen Son is at $8.25 million
right.
per year. You cannot get that fine. Now you go tell me, yes, McKinnon have 6.3 for 5 years, whatever. But he signed Michael at 23 years old.
Right. He was only a 55, 60 point guy then. And it wasn't clear he was going to become what he is. Like, it wasn't until he meshed up with Rantanen that he became a 90-point player. And I'll point out again, this is a Selke Trophy winner. Like, this guy is an elite defensive two-way player. So I think that the money is right.
Michael, I would compare to him another players. I'm not remember his money he got, but I'm sure he's at $7 million close. Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah, Ryan's at 7.
So that gives you an idea about why Couturier got that money over there.
Yeah, Ryan's he had 7 years at 7.5.
7.5.
So I think this is a good comparison. He's a very similar player. Ryan does a lot of little things just like Couturier does. And he hasn't scored as many goals as Couturier. He's won a Stanley Cup, but he's very similar. Like, Ryan does everything very well.
Yep.
And I think what Enertap is saying, it's crazy how a 35, 40 goal scorer is the same as a 50 goal scorer, but I think these are different types of players. We see players that are 40, 50 goal scorers, but they don't play well in other areas of the ice. And that's coaches and general managers value someone that isn't a liability. Well, so does Couturier. I think these are all good comparisons. Like, Ryan is not like, Ryan will hit you. Ryan will check you. I mean, I coach Ryan. He's very good at everything, Pierre.
Yeah. But, Yamo would bring the contract. Lestagard is at $7 million.
Right. And I think that's not a bad comparison, right? Like, Landeskog is like.
That's the kind of player you get about him. And that's what I think is really right to see that.
Yep.
He got also 8 years old. 8 years.
So how many times has Landeskog scored 30 goals? Once. And Couturier's had multiple 30-goal seasons. He was probably on pace for 25, 30 this year. So I think this is a good comparison. And he doesn't miss, like, Couturier doesn't miss time. And he's
I believe is the same that the categories those kind of players, Michael, should be around $7 to $8 million. I think that's a good way.
Yep, I think so.
I think that's a good.
He's not getting 10. He's not, like, look at Kucherov is getting just under 10, right? So that's what you're talking about when you talk about a 50-goal type guy. Like, is Couturier or is Kucherov, Austin Matthews, McDavid's $12 million. So I think this contract's on the right spot.
Absolutely right about this. And then to finalize with Gators about this, he mentioned about Huberdeau. Right, he's the same age, Huberdeau. He's 28 years old, right? He makes $6 million at that moment over there.
Yeah, he'll get
more. Again, think about this, Huberdeau, Michael. 27, 30, 23, 20. It's not a lot of goal per game, but 62, 69, 92, 78, and 61 is +1. So it's going to be 90 points with him. And that's why he should be between 8.5 to 9.5.
Probably.
And the point, because he's 28, been there, he's going to get an 8-year contract, Michael. And the only way he get dropped the money there is because he got 8 years. So wouldn't be surprised he got $8.5 to $9 million, where many other locations you would get 9.5 to 8 million. But I think that's why you qualify or you you expect those contracts to be signed. That's the way you check about those money.
Yeah, like Huberdeau has the ability to be an 85, 90-point player. And that's why he's going to get probably 8-9 million. He'll get 9, I bet.
Yeah.
And there's not many better.
I wouldn't be surprised Barkov get the double digit, the 8-digit.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I mean, he's very, very good.
And Michael, think about this. He's going to turn, 26? You give him an 8-year contract, you have to pay him at least a 10.5. Yep. He's going to be done at 34. So you're going to get, again, a little bit longer, but you're going to get better also. So you're not going to be like Huberdeau, where he's going to be 35, 36, 37. Now you get better with Barkov. So you're going to find, for me, a $1 million difference between Barkov and Huberdeau. I could be wrong, But
I
that's
think
what
you're
I
probably
feel
right.
is going to be.
No, I think you're probably right. That probably makes sense.
Good morning, Frank Zalazar in the house. Don't forget to click on the likes, you guys. That would be awesome. If you can do that, that'd be great. And yep.
I don't know who. So I'm trying to think of who Couturier. I don't know if he's under KO Sports. He might be under KO Sports. I can't remember.
Which one?
I'm trying to think of who his agent is, but yeah, I think in the end this is a good contract. All right, so today we did. Oh,
Carey Price in the house.
Oh, Carey Price. It sounds like Carey Price is going to be ready for training camp.
Earlier, by the way. So good news about Carey Price yesterday. We heard like he's going to be right away at the training camp and everything like that. So good news from Dominic Schramm. Dominic Schramm was really, really happy yesterday to back on the golf course, everything like that. And I'm sure the contract at $3 million, the 3 years, help make him to be smiling more every time that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they had a good year, that's for sure. All right, we did want to talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins and Ron Hextall. It was kind of a weird ending for Jim Rutherford. And I'm not sure if I still understand what the nature of the argument was. I don't know whether Jim Rutherford wanted to reboot the team and they said no, or if he didn't want to, because there was conflicting information that came out. But in the end, it resulted in Jim Rutherford resigning, and they bring in Ron Hextall and Brian Burke to run the Pittsburgh Penguins. And we saw after that he made some moves to try to make them competitive. I think the big challenge in Pittsburgh last year was goaltending. And I still believe in Tristan Jarry. He's always been a very good goalie. I think when he's on, he showed that he can be a top-level goalie, but there's still something to prove there. And Casey DeSmith has proven that he's pretty reliable. So those were two big things. But that being said, they were a .688 win percentage.
Yep.
So pretty good team. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big Pittsburgh Penguins fan, and I have no interest in seeing them ever win another Stanley Cup. However, if you look at this roster, they still have some horsepower. Now, we know Malkin's going to come up as a free agent. He's got one more year at 9.5. He's rehabbing a knee injury. Sidney Crosby at 8.7. Pretty reasonable, but he's kind of like a point-a-game guy now. He's got 4 more years, but I don't see him diminishing that much. He's still a very, very good, actually two-way player. I mean, he's intense all over the ice.
14 goals for the 500.
Wow, yeah, that's good. So he'll hit 500 goals. It's interesting. He's only played 1,000 games. So he's still a pretty durable player overall, though I guess the year before he did miss quite a few games still. So they always go with this issue where every other year they kind of lose Malkin or they lose Crosby. They're like, 4 years removed from winning this, 5 years removed from winning back-to-back Stanley Cups?
4, but the concussion he got at 2012, something like that. He missed 3 years of hockey where he played only 41, 22, 36. So that's why his game is only at 1,000, low. He should be about, most like you have to add almost like 150 game there.
Yep, you're right. So yeah, it's interesting because we got Tampa back-to-back. We have Washington and then St. Louis. And before that, I think, was the 2 years that Pittsburgh won.
Yeah.
So it's been about half a decade now. It goes fast. Wow. That's crazy. I think this is an interesting – so how much does Malkin get for upcoming offseason? I think that's a big question mark. And I think that'll be telling because when he's in the game, he's, in my opinion, he's very, very underrated. They never win a Stanley Cup unless Malkin's on. He is just such a great, great two-way player overall, but mostly like offensive dynamite. But, there's a lot of miles on both these guys.
I'm going to announce this right now. I'll guess what day we are? 27?
Yep.
I don't give a breaking news, but I'm telling you right now, Malkin is going to play for the Florida Panthers next year.
Well, if he does, that's a huge win for Florida. If you have Barkov and Malkin, that team wins the Stanley Cup.
He's going to sign a 2 years contract, Michael, about $5 million.
I think that would be smart because I think Pittsburgh, I look at this lineup, I do not like what's in the pipeline. I do not like their defense at all. And I think there's big question marks around the goaltending. And this is probably why if Jim Rutherford was saying, let's blow this up and start rebuilding, you can kind of understand that logic. That being said, next year they got a lot of contracts expiring.
They have no window, Michael. They are the
I think
right now. They have no window. Is this year or it's
never?
Over?
And we saw like 2 years in a row first round playoff exit, and I think there's a reason. I mean, I like Jake Gensel. I think he's very underrated. Crosby's obviously really, really good. Jason Zucker has not worked out for them. Brian Rust has been very good.
Michael, they got is a one Ronnie talked this week in our tap. One of the two said some organization, Michael, hold their players, and that's the thing. They keep too long, and that now they're going to suffer. So going to be down now. They are going down. They're not going up. They are, we know what they did last season, but you can see in the playoff they get out right away. So they will maybe hanging there this year and maybe a little bit lower, and then boom, they have to figure out something about that.
They don't have
me. I would not be surprised they clean up the house, Malkin, Letang, everything like that. But I did not like what they did for the last 2-3 years.
I don't either.
Great and everything like that. I don't think so. They find a way to get prospect. They don't have prospect. The rank of prospect is there because they always trade at the deadline, trying maybe to win at the end, and it does not work that way at some point.
So it's interesting. I don't know if what the argument was, but to your point, they really they don't have a lot of great stuff coming up. I'm not sure if Samuel Poulin will even make the team this year.
They don't have nobody, Michael.
They have nobody.
18, 20, 21, no first round pick over there, Michael.
They keep trying to double down on this. So let's talk about Ron Hextall. If you look at Philadelphia, this guy went in to a situation where there were terrible contracts. He cleaned up all the contracts, and then he started accumulating draft picks, and he started getting very, very good prospects. And I think that's why that Ron Hextall got this job. Because if you look at Philadelphia's roster, he built it through the draft. And I think that he'll do the same thing here in Pittsburgh.
Well, one thing you did not mention so far, he's not only the GM, he's also with Brent Burke. So
right. I said they hired both of them, but okay. I think Burke Burke's interesting. He'll be pretty hands-on, I believe, but I don't know the inner workings of that. Burke is a master trader, and Hextall's a master at building through the draft. So it's going to be interesting. I don't see they have any moves here, Pierre. Like, I don't think that there's like, hey, one more trade and we're a Stanley Cup contender. I don't know. I just don't feel that.
Yeah.
Why do we have these morons jumping in?
Yeah, I'm going to clean up.
Yeah, I just blocked them. Hubie is staying in Florida for sure, but what I think, and do you think I think Letang resigns probably. I don't know. I feel like they'll hold on to Crosby and Letang.
They want to go. They will let go of trade Malkin. I don't think so. They get Letang. I think they will keep Letang and Colby and Crosby. I think that will. That's the right. UBs don't go nowhere. Huberdeau is going to finish in Florida, and if ever he go to Montreal, he's going to be 36, 37. But Huberdeau is not going nowhere about that one there.
I don't think so. It's interesting. Let's say theoretically, contract expires for Malkin. He goes to Florida. I think Florida wins the Stanley Cup. I mean,
but that's the push for me. That's the push over there. And I think that would be smart to do that. And remember, at that year and year number 2 from today, right? Yeah. I believe Michael, put Malkin third line example, right?
Oh, no, he's still second line capable.
No, but put him third line, right? Because he's 36. And the right, Michael, you have Lundell. So Malkin, Lundell together, that's a punch right there. Like a mini league and second line everywhere.
But this guy's still a star. I mean, for him to go to Florida, he could be the number 1 centerman. Like, there's not really a drop off between him and Barkov, except for age.
At 36, Michael, I don't see this. Barkov
I actually do. If you watch him game in game, the biggest issue is health, right? But if you look at his points, like he had one off year, but last year he had 74 points in 55 games.
But you can see his drop on the goaltending and the goalie.
Not really, Pierre. He's a point and a half
only 8 goal and 33, Michael.
But he's hurt, right? So we know he's injured here. But then you look last year, 74 points in 55 games.
I'm not talking about the point. I'm talking about the goals. So he's not going to score anymore 35, 40 goals per year.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think he's still, when he's healthy, he's still an elite player. I don't think there's much question in my mind about that. I think the problem was he's absolutely was playing hurt, and then we saw it was over. Like, he couldn't finish the year. And I think people underrate this guy. But look at how many games he's missed, Pierre. He's missed a lot of hockey.
He never played a full year.
It's been a while. It hasn't been since. And when did he do it? When they won. It was like the only reason they win is when this guy's on. So I think that's the big challenge. If you believe that you can get 2 years out of him, even if it's 65.
Here's a Michael, I would tell you something there.
And having Sam Bennett would help, right? Like, because you don't have to your point, having Sam Bennett, bringing him in.
No, but my point is
break,
part. Usually you have a punch. When are you talking? You need 2 great forward. Right. Like Crosby win Pittsburgh, not because only Crosby, because you have Malkin.
Exactly.
Chicago win, Michael, Jonathan Toews with who? Patrick Kane. So Barkov have Malkin behind him. Jeez, you have right now the Stanley Cup.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I think you understand that he's got health problems and you've got to spare him during the regular season a little bit. Having a guy at $4 million like Sam Bennett does that for you. So you think, hey, and then you got a young Anton Lundell, to your point. You add this, like Malkin to Florida, that's a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm a big fan of him. I think the biggest issue with him is his body. He's played a lot of playoff miles. Like, he's got a lot of, banged up body for a long time. He's not young. He's 34, 35.
Here's what happening in our tap with the Malkin situation. If Pittsburgh, Michael, are the second and the Atlantic and the Metropolitan Division, right? They are in second and the trade deadline. They're not going to trade Malkin. They're going to keep Malkin because now they're on the playoff.
Yeah.
So they expect to make a good run over there.
Yeah.
Now, if they are eliminated, they're going to draft Malkin. But Malkin is 35, 36 years old. Yeah. You're not going to get a prospect and a first-round pick. You're going to maybe have the same thing what they did with Foligno and Savard. So they're going to get what? You're going to get maybe a first-round pick and maybe a national player with that part of there. That's it. So his stock market is going to be low at the trade deadline. I think so. The second thing, they let him stay with the team. Right now, he's not going to resign with Pittsburgh at $7, $8, $9 million for 2-3 years because the team and our tap. The reason why I said this is that, Michael, because at that moment next year, they have to take a decision. They have to move another way. They cannot stay where they are anymore. No. They have to go with younger. They have to find a way with that team. We have to reset everything. So for me, that's the reason I believe Malkin's going to be out of Pittsburgh. That's my statement about him. I'm not saying what happened, but I think if one of the 3 players, Michael, it's Malkin going to be the one get out.
Yeah, I could see that. And it's not that he wants to be disloyal. I think that Bud the Monkey's joined us.
Bud the Monkey, lunchtime, buddy. Welcome back.
They could try to move him. I just don't know what you get for him.
But I agree. I agree with in our tap. It will be the best interest for Pittsburgh.
For sure.
But what they will do, Michael, is usually a GM will wait where they are in January and February, and when they go to hit the on-air picks, that's why you're going to see the situation with Malkin, if he stay or not. If it's not that, we did not go to trade him right now. They're going to see what they are, and then after that, they're going to take a decision about that kid.
I don't think that Pittsburgh's even interested in Bobrovsky. They're not at all. Not even close.
Not anywhere close anymore. You're not going to have Michael.
They'll never do this.
I promise you one thing. No GM's going to resign
nobody.
A goaltender, all right, at that age like Bob at $10 million.
Yeah,
Nobody will do it again. At least you are 24 years old, at 25, and you prove you are the best. The next one can do that. It's maybe Spencer Knight one day.
Yeah, there's no way that Pittsburgh's interested in him. That doesn't solve anything for Pittsburgh, and his contract's too long and too expensive.
Not allow. They're not helping allow them.
They want young players if they do anything. They'll want draft picks and players.
Unfortunately, that's the one where Flutter would be a bit for years is because the contract about Bobrovsky. That's the only thing will hurt them about that way.
Yeah, and I think they'll be okay. I mean, it'll be tough when they have to sign Barkov and Huberdeau for sure.
But yes, I know, Michael.
Not the end of the world,
though. The beauty of this one, they did Florida, Michael. They also have a lot of great prospects. So
I think they do exactly.
So the lower money at the salary cap at the bottom, that'll be great for them about this. But they cannot have a contract for $9 million as a defenseman, at $10 million as the goaltender, and I think they can hang in there for 3 more years.
I think so too.
So I think that because look, Ekblad is 25, he's going to be 28. Move his contract.
Very good, very good contract.
So now when you go to get his contract, Michael, we just got $6 million more on the salary cap. Now he can give him the $9 million after that, and that's what Florida is in great position about that one over there.
You got Sam Reinhart at 6.5. Yes, you have to sign Barkov, and he'll probably get 9, or like maybe Nate gets 9.5, Pierre. Maybe he gets like Kucherov money. Maybe he gets 10. Okay, fine.
I don't think so. Huberdeau's get 10, Michael, because he's
Barkov.
Oh, Barkov, he get $10 million. You're 25.
Yeah. So that's why I say, like, I think, okay, great. It's 4.1 million. Well, where can you come up with 4.1 million? Like, Frank Vetrano will disappear. Asiari will disappear. There's your money right there.
And also Nutivara, I believe, is out at the bottom, Michael.
Yeah, so there's lots of pieces that will pull out of this, and it'll be fine.
Oh, they have the money for the coaches, that part over there. That's not a problem.
And the cap will go up.
The only thing you have to pay, again, like, tippets, everything like that. So for me, they are not. And then if you go lower, Michael, they don't have to pay Dillon and Luenko, I believe, for the dead money at the bottom.
So I think Florida's in really good shape. I think they would figure out a way to fit in Malkin for a couple years, give them a shot. I love that move. I don't know if it'll happen, but it would totally put them over the top, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Price says he's the best at 10 million. I think you're the best of the two $10 million goalies. But then there's a $9.5 million goalie that's better than both of you, which is Vasilevsky.
Well, he's at 9.5, so.
Yeah, so he's cheaper, guys.
Yeah, but that's what Tampa area are, right? So
yeah, he's a stud right now. He's a good age and he's a stud. So will the Habs have to shed Price in the future? I don't see why. I mean, I don't see this as a big contender personally. I mean,
the only reason probably going somewhere, Michael, is maybe a trade deadline in 2 years where he can have a chance to win something
Colorado.
like that. That's pretty much it.
Send him to Colorado. Send him to Florida.
You know what I mean? So I think that would be the good place to go that way with it, but I don't see otherwise he would finish with Montreal. You still have 5 years, 4 years.
So I don't know. I think it's a little difficult to rate. Is Juleson ever going to shake off his injuries and play regularly? The biggest problem, I hope so, because he was right there, Pierre. Like, to me, before he had the puck to the eye, you're like, man, this is going to be a real good NHL defenseman for a long time. I don't know.
So here's the point. The bad news is all injuries. The good news, Michael, whatever happening, and he's been in the league for a long time.
I know.
Well, you know what? Look his age.
He's 23?
Max. So he's still young.
No, I really love Noah. Like, he's such a good
if you can drop the website, we cannot see. We stuck somewhere.
Oh. Really?
I bring back the website you are.
No, there's no website. It's just us.
No, you are on the Florida Panthers.
You want me to go back to that?
Yeah, because you were stuck over the defenseman. I thought you would drop the the defenseman to see the age.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah. So he's 24.
Yeah, Noah, if he's healthy, can play regularly in the NHL, and I think he is a top 4 type defenseman. He's a right shot guy. He can skate with the puck a little bit. He's very good one-on-one. If not for the puck to the eye, this
It's
guy
sad because that's what they need. The Panthers, they need another defenseman.
I think he can do it, but
and that's what he have an opportunity right now to step up and battle for the number 6 with Nutivara and also Connington. So the problem he is on the right D, and the RD is set up very well. That's the problem he got.
Yep. So I don't know if it'll be in Florida, but I think he's very capable. If he's healthy, then you've got a real good defenseman there.
Juleson was the top 4 in Montreal.
He was.
The key is before he got hurt, he was there. But at the same time, Michael, the defensive Montreal was not solid at that time he was there.
They weren't, but he was, it wasn't like he came in and they were like, wow, thank goodness we have this guy because he can play. He wasn't forced into the role. Like he earned it. But then, the puck to the eye, this has been a big question mark for him. The headaches have been a real problem.
Yeah, but again, like I said, the structure, the defensive over there was not the same way.
For sure.
At the end of the day, Weber and Petrie better to your son on the right D. So for me, it was not a top 4, but he played that level because the injuries, everything like that. But he took advantage of the situation.
Absolutely, he was. But I think they were quite happy, and so he's capable. I think we just got to hope that his health problems are over.
Got a 1 deal last Friday, as you see, Raven. Yep, first round pick. Yep. John Gregor in the house this morning. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to click on the vote, everything. And then the people that was not there last night, or they was there. Yes, we have a show tonight. So Frenchy is back tonight. Saturday night and Sunday night, we are back to back. I have no engagement anymore for the rest of the weekend, so we're going to have a show. Just want to mention the people was there last night.
So I think the best days for
it's an old team, right, Michael, with no prospect in the bank.
So, no prospect.
So that's what the problem they have over there. Captain still play really a little bit better. I like the fact they get in on that one. I don't like the fact they get McCann. They lost Danev and McCann, so I think that will hurt.
That'll hurt.
I think Rodriguez is average. Race is okay. Roger is not too bad. But again, the defensive struggle a lot. And, I know you don't like Cody Ceci, but Cody Ceci, it was maybe one of the best defensemen for them last year. Obviously, John Marino have a bad year.
I was going to say.
Madison is a giveaway puck. The best in NHL giveaway puck. And then Marcus Peterson, Michael, is another one struggle last year. He got hurt on the return. And Freeman is Freeman. So that team on the defensive is below average in NHL. And Jerry have to be better if Pittsburgh have to be good. And honestly, I have to give them credit. They did the playoff last year. They won the division. I don't know how. But again, at the end of the day, is a team I don't see. Is a team, Michael, is shaky to make the playoff. I would not consider put them right now in the playoff. It will be 50-50. The best way we give them right now is wild card.
I think they'll be a wild card team. They'll be in, but man, this defense is terrible. I mean, this is just way below average. They have one guy on this D. They really need John Marino to be the player they thought he was going to be, but I don't see it now. I don't think that there's enough here. They would have to bring in
they need at least 2 defensemen over there.
Yeah, I just say they need 2 defensemen.
At least a minimum there.
Yeah, I don't see
on the flip side, we have to give credit for the young kid. I know he's not young anymore, but this Smith, Michael, is only 6 foot. And he did very well as a backup.
No, he's good.
Last
I don't
season
mind him
with
at all.
them. Jeff Carter is not young anymore. He
played very well, though.
He came back, Jeff Carter. I'm sorry. And,
he played well.
Yeah, so it's a team right now I don't see a lot, and there's a team for the next 5 years. Someone asking me about last night about, the team going up. That best 5 is in the 5 down. I think Pittsburgh for the next 5 years, the team's going to be lower and lower.
They took advantage of the fact that they were, I think, in we're going to see a lot of teams like them that had unusually high winning percentages because of the structure of the schedule of who they had to play over and over, and they took advantage of that. I think they'll be competitive, but it's not because of the D. It's because of the
I agree with in our tap. Is a team like Michael, like Montreal, they're going to fight for that wild card spot. I absolutely agree with you about this on our tap. By Caden. And then, yes, Johnny's confirmed it was by Yamo a little bit earlier. Rand Poland signed a 3 years contract at $750,000, $225 on EHL. Do you think Crosby retire as the Penguins in our tap? I can promise you this.
Yeah, he'll retire as a Penguin.
Yeah.
We had a couple people join us. Johnny Golden joined us, and then also so did Dan Asham.
Who?
Dan Asham and Johnny Golden joined us, Pierre.
I don't see Dan Asham.
Yeah, he's right here. Good morning, Coach, he says.
No, I don't see him in the chat, me.
Yeah, it's on the screen.
Where? No, I know. Oh, you bring the comments all the way. I know you're on the screen, but on the comments on my right side.
Oh, I see.
Like,
okay.
Like he's over. So you forget him at some point. So now I can see him. High scoring game, Pittsburgh. Yeah. But again, to have a better chance, Michael, it's not Malkin and Crosby anymore. They need Jason Tucker. They need Jeff Carter. They need the second, third players. Rossi have to be stepped up over there. But the defense, that's why is shaky, and the goaltender is shaky, like Top said earlier. Where do you see Malkin fitting in Florida? OMG. I'll open the door for him if he wants to come.
Oh, my God, yeah.
That's the key, Michael, make Florida win the Stanley Cup. You put Malkin in the lineup right now, he cannot because $9 million. But still, I believe that's the kind of players they will be interesting. And I think Nortap is right. That would be the player interesting to watch, Michael, at the trade deadline.
What? All right, I'm going to say a name that's weird. What if Malkin went to Colorado?
Well, that's another possibility over there, too. That's, you know what I mean? Like, he will go somewhere. I would say to you, why not to Vegas?
Vegas is weird. I mean, for sure, anyone's going to want him. I feel like if you put him in a Colorado where there's a lot of high-skill players, that just, like, puts him over the top, right? Vegas is strange, just the style.
Michael, Vegas have a better skill player compared to Colorado?
I don't know, man. I think that they play a very specific style.
Michael, check about this. Let's get out. All right? McKinnon, Ratanen, Burakovsky.
Colorado.
That's only 4. That's it.
All right. Well,
now you have Stone, Pacioretty, Carlson, Riley Smith, Marchessault over there.
Right. Those are all lunch pail guys, man. They're not.
They all score 30 goals per year, Michael.
What? No. You got Mark Stone can't do anything in the playoffs because he plays a perimeter game.
I'm not talking about the playoff. I'm talking about the playoff skill-wise. Vegas have a better forward compared to Colorado.
So, I mean, let's take a look because I think it's an interesting comparison. I don't know. I don't believe that much. I think Vegas is a weird case for me. They've built this team very
Yamo bring a good comment there. Can Montreal step up to pick him?
Does it matter? Would that even help Montreal do anything, though?
That will help. They don't have second center.
Who's their first center? Nick Suzuki?
Yeah.
This team's not contending for the Cup. They just shot their bullet.
But I think if they contending for the Stanley Cup, Michael, they will maybe concerned to get him.
Yeah, I don't see it. I think they're going to be a bubble team. They'll be a wild card team. If you look at Colorado or you look at Florida, those make a lot more sense.
I don't say it don't make sense, but I just said a team like him or Boston will look for Malkin.
See, if he went to Boston too, I don't know how Boston would ever fit it in.
But the point, Michael, is like anybody, they don't know how you're going to fit him. They're all team we mentioned right now. The Surrey Cup is there. But my point is the team when mentioned right now, most of them, Vegas, Boston, Montreal, and Colorado, they don't have a solid second center.
It's the toughest spot in the NHL. Like, it's so hard to get a number one, and then to get a number two is like, it's like a miracle, you know?
Yep.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch. Pierre, unfortunately, I have to cut it off.
Because Knight and a prospect or pick for Malkin. No, what? They would not get Knight. They're not going to trade.
They will
Knight.
Never trade for Spencer Knight.
If at the trade deadline, it works this way. It's usually a first-round pick to get there, and then you go your second.
Denisenko.
After that. That's how it works. It's always been that way. Yep. At least there's a mega trade like Manta and Vranak, Jacob Vrana over there. Otherwise, like an old player, Michael, it's been that way. First round pick. Look, David Savard. Look, other trade you get at that moment. That's what you get. Look, Nick Foligno, Michael. It's a first round pick, and then something like that. So what he can do, Michael, send the Malkin at the trade deadline. Say, look, we're going to send you a first round pick. Then you have a team like Arizona will get the money like San Jose and Detroit did, and then they can fit like Colorado, Florida, or Vegas.
Yep, I agree. Hornqvist is a good friend.
You don't give your prospect to Malkin at the end of the day.
I mean, I think for Florida it wouldn't matter because I don't see Heponiemi and Denisenko making the roster, and a first-round pick to them is going to be late. And if they win a cup, they don't care.
So right now, we need to start. All right, right now, everybody here sign a paperwork and then send this to Pittsburgh and Florida. Let's promote Malkin to the Panthers at the trade deadline. Yeah. But again, it's a great analysis about that. I think it's something we're going to talk for. This is the first time we talk about this. I'm turning out in February. We're going to talk at this a lot about Malkin, Michael.
Yeah. Just going to the Vegas discussion, I just think this team is – I don't see what you see offensively.
Carlson, all right, like Stone, because now you go with 55 games. It's hard to compare, right?
No, I get it, but you're saying, you know, Stone is a 25, 30 goal scorer. He's never really been 30. He's always been
21 goals, 55. So you talk about 25 goals right there.
Sure, but look at historically. That's right. He's 25.
Right.
This is what he is. Right. He's not a 30 goal scorer.
I know, but that's compared to Burakovsky.
Burakovsky, is very good.
But again, he's a 20 goal there.
But that's on their second line.
Vegas, Michael, a more powerful scorer compared to Colorado.
No way. Colorado's got a way better offensive team than Vegas.
They don't have enough. Of course, if you talk about McKinnon, Ratanen, I'm talking about the 12 forward. Vegas have a better scorer compared to Colorado.
Pierre, unfortunately, I have to jump, but I hope you have a good day, and everybody else have a good day. I can leave you on if you want.
No, that's good, everybody. We have to go. And three-way trade back into Florida, Huberdeau to Montreal. Yeah, forget about that one over there. For sure. Huberdeau going nowhere about that.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.